You and I actually had a really good conversation a couple of days ago, and I'm going to bring this back up. I had some concerns that with all this nice weather, all of a sudden we were going to get this huge storm. This is hypothetical, right? And all of a sudden we'd have too much rain, and then flooding would become a big problem because of how dry it is. Just a note for you guys that when the ground is dry like it is right now, rain hitting the ground, if there's too much, it almost acts like a cementing effect, and the rain can't seep into the ground right away, and that's how we get flooding, which essentially helps to end a drought, but it's bad, right? Now, the storm that's on the way, it's actually kind of a Goldilocks situation that we're going to get rain, but it's not going to be overwhelming for our conditions. And for that, I'm actually really thankful. Let's get to the here and now, and then we're going to talk more about this storm because, man, there is a lot to talk about here. Right now, it's a beautiful evening over downtown Providence. Seriously, John said it right. What a gorgeous stretch we've had. Temperatures pretty seasonal at the moment. We're in the 50s, 52 in Providence, 50 in Smithfield, 50 in Newport, and 49 in New Bedford. Overnight tonight, we're back down into the low 40s. The clouds continue to creep in, and here we go. The chance of rain begins mainly after midnight here. A couple showers to start, but then the big stuff comes on in for tomorrow. Looking at high temperatures in the low 50s, but honestly, that is the least impactful part of the day. We have to talk about the fact that finally, for the first time in a very long time, we will see periods of rain, and it will be soaking at times. It's also going to be a windy and cold day. Where does it all begin? Right here up in the Great Lakes. There's a center of low pressure here that's going to end up moving to the east out toward the shoreline, and a secondary area of low pressure is going to develop along the coast. These two areas combined are going to drive this rain back into New England, and southern New England is actually going to get a soaker out of the deal. That, again, I'm considering great news because it's been so dry for so long, but the rain is not going to be so overwhelming that we're looking at widespread flooding. That said, we could see some poor drainage flooding. What does that mean? Well, if you have any storm drains around your home or in your streets, clear them of debris or leaves, for example, because it's been so long since we've had any rain, anything clearing the streets, that you could see all that stuff blocking the drains, and then, well, the water has nowhere to go. So just make sure for yourself and your neighbors that everything is clear around any drains around your home. Again, rain for southern New England, and I have to make mention for all the skiers and snowboarders out there, this is selfish. I love to ski, but I gotta do it. The Northeast mountains, those ranges are going to be in luck. Now, it does start more so out in the Mid-Atlantic, out in the Poconos, but man, even looking into the Green and White Mountains, up into the Boundary Mountains of Maine, there is some of that fluffy, kind of mushy, but still fluffy white stuff on the way. Here we go. Let's talk about Futurecast here. We'll bring in the storm. Ready? Here it comes from the west. That's the original center of low pressure. And then here comes that secondary area up the Mid-Atlantic, helping to drive that heavier moisture into southern New England by tomorrow morning. Look at that band, right? It's red, it's orange, it gets your attention. That's where the rain is going to be soaking. We'll see periods of rain throughout the day, even into the afternoon. It really doesn't let up. It's going to be, well, truly a soaker as we get through our Thursday, so don't make any outdoor plans. They will be canceled unless you like playing around in the rain and the wind. By the evening, we still see some of that rainfall before it lets up for a time. But then this system wraps back around on Friday, and by Friday evening, we have more rain on the way. Again, another little bit of a, we'll call it a blessing for us, that we actually get a break in between those periods of rain for the ground to kind of, well, figure itself out, if you will, in between those stretches where it's really wet. How much rain are we looking at? Well, through Friday morning, give or take 3/4 of an inch. At this point, I do think we could get another 1/4 inch on Friday, totaling us somewhere between an inch and some places closer to 1.5 inches. Remember, folks, clear those drains. Super important when we get to this time of the year. There's leaves everywhere, twigs, debris, and with a storm like this, we don't want to have any issues with flooding around your homes. Now, just a quick mention again for the folks who are looking at this and drooling. Maybe your skis and your snowboards are sitting out in the living room just waiting to be used. I'm telling you, the Poconos are the bullseye right now, but even as you're getting into parts of central PA out toward, let's say, Center County, like where Penn State is, we could see some pretty decent snowfall. The greens, the whites, the Boundary Mountains, maybe not quite as impressive, but still, by the time we get through the weekend, things are looking pretty good. So just know that ski and snowboard season is just right here. You can smell it. 7-day forecast looks pretty good overall. We do have this turbulent couple of days with this storm, again, wrapping back around, making things windy and chilly and rainy. By the time we get to Sunday, though, things calm down quite a bit. Monday, very calm as well. A quick front as we move into Tuesday with a couple of showers, but we clear back out for a chilly Wednesday.
Thank you, Christina.